This donk bet. I mean, we raised on the turn. Why would you donk now? Yeah, that's a crying call for me. I'm not gonna fold the 5NL, but I'm crying calling. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is Oli JT Buron here. If you don't know who I am, I'm an Italian professional poker player. I play mid to high stakes cash games online here in Italy on PokerStars. Today we're back with the bankroll challenge series. I started at $50 and I'm trying to grow a full $10,000 bankroll. Right now we have 84.15 to the bankroll and we're trying our first shot at 5NL poker. So without further ado, let's jump right into the action. 5NL poker, let's go. Okay, this hand could mix a 3-bet in theory. In practice, I'm never gonna 3-bet 5NL these kind of hands. I'm not even sure I can flat call. Yeah, for the content, let's just flat call. Nice, we make 2 pair. I'm not sure it's a flat call because of the rake. 5NL, there's such a high rake, so you don't want to go post-flop a lot, since pre-flop you don't pay rake. Same goes for this King 8, but we're gonna call. Yeah, 10 deuce, we can raise, we can call. I think against the recreational, it's always better to raise this kind of hands, maybe as an overpair and fast plays all in or stuff like that. That would be awesome. If he calls, that's fine. Here on a mono board, off pot, I think I'm just gonna fold this King 8. Yeah, now on the turn, it's still a pretty easy value bet. I think I'll go pot. Even though in theory you're supposed to be going a little smaller, I think on the straight completing, it's fine to go pot, especially against the recreational. And by the way, if you're playing mid stakes like 50, 100 NL, and you started studying theory, just don't apply theory against the recreationals. Just try to play your hand in the most effective way. King 8 could open, but too many recreationals, I think, to open this kind of hands from the under the gun. I'm just gonna stick to tight ranges. Same goes for this Jack 10. Could 3-bet in theory, but don't want to do that. Gonna play very tight ranges, especially against 3x open. If the player is short stacked, I don't think it's a pretty good idea to play a 3-bet pot. And flat calling, not a lot incentivized at 5NL, so even here, 9-8 could be a flat call. I don't think I'm gonna play flat calls at 5NL, so I'm just gonna fold these kind of hands. 9-8, do we want to open? I think since it's Zoom, I think we can afford to go for this kind of open. Yeah, I'm gonna open 3x just from the button. At 2NL, I was opening 3x from every position. I'm gonna open 3x just from the button and 2.4 under the gun, hijack and cut off. Yeah, let's just range c-bet these kind of boards. You could always mix some checks against recreationals. You don't need to be precise and bet every hand that you have in range. But just to simplify and basically play a simple strategy. We open ace-10 suited. There's a flat call and a squeeze. Man, this squeeze short stacked by a recreational. It's so strong. Need to call 7.5. Probably will call 2. Then we play multi-way. Yeah, I think it's alright, man. I'm not particularly happy. I think this guy calls every time, so we have the pot odds to call. Even if we have like 30% equity against this guy, I don't think he will be playing aggressively post-flop, so maybe we over-realize. And now on King 9-7 he quickly checked, which is weird. I think a hand like Ace King or King Queen would have bet, so I'm pretty sure he doesn't have those. Although recreational players can surprise you. This guy can have 9s and 7s for sure, so not even that we want to bet all the time. Yeah, against the... okay, this guy folded. I think against this guy, which looks like a regular, is playing 2 tables. It's an easy fold. I think it's too strong. I mean, not that we could do a lot with our end, but I would have folded way better hands than ace-10 against that kind of bet. Okay, so we open here blind versus blind, jack 6, can bet, can check. Let's just go for a pretty small bet, 25% calls. Right now is the 10. Okay, here we open the king jack. Let's just go for a small bet. Let's just check turn here. Okay, check, check. I prefer blocking here, 2 big blinds. It's gonna call with some worse hands than this one. Okay, we face a click raise, which is interesting. I think it's doing something crazy. So I will just let him bluff. Maybe as a worst king. We'll see on the ace. If he goes something like pot, I think he's bluffing. I don't think he has a lot of ace-x that click raise on the flop. So I will interpret a bet, mostly bluffed. Half pot, it's weird. I think it's still pretty bluffy in my opinion. I will not fold. And I will not fold the river too. Yeah, any river I will just call. Now here we defended with the queen jack, check check. I will go for a big bet on the turn and follow through on every river. Yeah, I'm gonna call. I don't believe you. Okay, you have deuces. Wow. Okay, definitely not a great read. Yeah, it happens. Sometimes you make a read and you're wrong. That's okay. That's poker. You cannot be right all the time. You need to learn how to lose. So now I will say click raise, bottom set. Especially if you don't have information, go with your gut, at least against recreational. And once you have the information, you can take more precise decisions. So we open the ace-10. It's a pretty small 3-bet. Man, these small 3-bets are effective. I'm gonna call against a small 3-bet. Even though I want to fold against 3-bets, but if you make it this a good price, I think I'm just forced to call a lot. So ace-10, I will start with a 30% bet. Usually when out of position checks on these kind of boards, but also in other boards, and is a recreational, they tend to be passive, so they either check call or check fold. You don't face a lot of raises and you can bet a lot more just for that. And of course, if you follow through turn and river, you're gonna generate a lot of fold equity. Queen jack gonna defend against 3x open. It's already close. He checks back on ace jack 10, two-tone. Think he's got some mid value. Don't think he wants to fold right away. My hand is kind of a showdown hand. I don't think I want to bet on the turn. Maybe on the river I will block. So if he has a hand like king 10, 10, 9, or even jack 9, for example, I don't want to go too big, but I don't want to check because I don't expect a lot of bluffs. So we go small, he calls. Let's see what he had. He had pocket sixes, so he had a showdown hand, not so strong, and decided to call anyway, which is completely fine for me. You have jacks here, blind versus blind. Ooh, double pocket jacks. That's interesting. And we have a pretty big open, 3.4. Gonna make it 15. Ooh, 28 4-bet. I think I'm just gonna fold. 3.4 and then a 4-bet, quite quick. I think this is just an easy fold in practice. He's gonna have some ace king, but mostly strong hand and pocket jacks, and I don't think at this rate calling makes a lot of sense. I would play mostly jams, and yeah, I will fold pocket jacks. Don't mind folding. Pocket jacks is a strong hand, but it's not like crushes other pocket pairs. You basically either flip against ace king, which I think can even jam there. Like if you have ace king, you can jam there. So that makes the 4-betting range even stronger. I think it's fine to just fold. Pocket sevens, I think you can bet here. 8-5-5. I think my opponents are going to be very, very passive here. So a hand like pocket sevens that actually I don't mind if it goes fold, fold, fold. And if I think my opponents are not going to raise me enough, I think that's completely fine to bet. Now on the 8th turn though, just think it's a showdown hand. We're gonna check. He quickly checked back. I think he's got some showdown. I don't think he's got a strong showdown. Even if you have some random 5x, you would consider betting. So I'm just gonna go small. And yeah, maybe he has some ace highs and just calls down. At 2NL, people love to call with ace highs. So maybe it's true at 5NL too. We'll see. Gonna go ahead and 3-bet this king jack suited and face another 4-bet. Yeah, I think it's just fold again. Like this click 4-bet, don't think is bluffed enough. These takes, let's just fold and not overthink it. Such a bad run though. Unlikely to see all these 4-bets at 5NL. I mean, I would assume so. Yeah, that's what I expected. This takes a lot of flat calls, random donk bets, and here, guys, don't know if you want to do this at home, but against half pot donk bets from recreationals, I just close my eyes and raise. So sometimes I improve. So now, of course, I'm gonna check back. Usually though, I tend to play for stacks because I think they're weak and capped. So usually I want to put pressure. Even though at 5NL you probably don't want to try to fold an ace to your opponent, since they're going to be pretty sticky. Now we check back on the turn, river is a 10, and now I think if we go something like 23, 24 big blinds, he always calls an ace. If we go bigger, I think he might fold some ace X region, so I will go a size that he always call with an ace, and maybe even with something worse than an ace. We'll see. Go 23, he calls pretty quickly, which is amazing. Let's see what he had. Of course, we were pretty lucky, we improved. Okay, so this guy donked ace queen offsuit. So my thing is, I usually go with what works on population. Usually donk bets are over bluffed by mass data analysis. But now that I know that he donk bets strong, I'm gonna just take a note and say donk bet strong. So next time that he donk bets, I will not fall into the same mistake that I did right now. Be aware that this hand is a mistake just if your opponent donks strong, because if he only donks weak, then of course you're gonna raise all the time. Now I will go for a small bet. This guy is the guy that 4-bet before. Yeah, still think here against the regulars or professionals, you can go way bigger. Now I'm just targeting the pair region, something like 9x, pocket 8s, pocket 7s. I could even check and try to fold him out these hands on the river. So let's do that. I misclicked, so it's fine. Yeah, now we see one big blind. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a strong hand. So now we'll try to fold him out. Basically his range. Let's just go 19 big blinds. Yeah, he basically told us, okay, that's the maximum I want to spend here. One big blind. And we were like, no, my friend. You can always go into different lines for bluffing. If you think your opponent has got some weak region, you can attack it even on later streets. You don't have to do that right away. Quick break, guys. If you're enjoying this kind of content, like and subscribe to the channel. It will really help me grow. Now back to the video. Yeah, pocket aces. Let's try to open. Hopefully see a 3-bet. Nope. Okay, we're gonna play a single raise pot. Let's just go for a bet here on this king jack 10. Calls and turn is an 8. Don't think he hits a lot of 2 pairs on this run out. So hands like king 8, jack 8, 10 8. Yeah, sure, he can have those. But he goes for the donk bet small. So when I see this, I think he has some equity. But he doesn't want to check fold. So we'll try to target specifically these hands and go for something like a half pot raise. Not too big. Now on the river, if he checks, I'm pretty sure we are ahead. Ah, man, this donk bet. I mean, we raised on the turn. Why would you donk now? Yeah, that's a crying call for me. I'm not gonna fold the 5NL, but I'm crying calling now. Yeah, random stuff. Queen 5. Doesn't make a lot of sense to donk. I mean, but recreational player, they tend to not be very logical with their thinking. So I would not be surprised if you had a hand like jack 8, for example. Now here with the 4-3. I mean, this guy went for the half-pot bet on a connected board, 10-eye. It's gonna have some overpairs, some good 10x, and I don't think I'm able to fold him out some very good hand, so I will just call and take my equity. Don't try to make him fold an overpair on the flop. And yeah, let's see on the turn. Check, check, check. We make a flush, which I like. Now on the river, I will just go for something like B75. Don't want to go too huge and scare them out. Wow. Man, these click raises. I'm pretty sure he has a flush, but I'm not going to fold like 15.8 with a flush. It sucks. Too good off pot odds to fold. Still, I think it sucks. Yeah, the A7. What the fuck is this, man? Okay, usually click raises, at least my stakes or higher stakes made by recreational players tend to be nuttish. So for example, if I had a hand like 10-9, I would have folded. So apparently this guy has a threshold for value that is completely messed up. So we're gonna say something like doesn't understand value thresholds and click raises team value on the river as a note. It's 3x open. We have ace 5 suited. Good 3-bet, could flat call. I mean, let's just flat call. 3x open tend to be stronger, unless it's his only sizings, but usually players at these stakes have multiple sizings. Now with the ace 5, we can go for the check call on this board or for the check raise. I mean, I will check raise against half pot. I don't feel confident about calling. He calls. Now on the 4, of course, we're going to continue. Usually recreational players tend to not understand well the check raise, so they overcall on the flop and then they just arrive with a weak range on the turn. So we go pot on the turn and he snap folds, which is great. Of course, don't take random hands. Ace 5 there, it's an overcard to the king and a double backdoor. We have backdoor flush and backdoor straight draw. So as you can see, we continue to put money into the pot when we hit our open-ender straight draw. If the run out was, for example, queen of spades, we would have just checked our hand. Usually out of position, you have to bluff with some sort of equity. Or I mean, you need to have some very strong blockers. That's how you make money at any stakes. Basically follow some principles like in chess. And of course there's going to be a lot of exploits to make these stakes. Still, if you play some solid poker, you're still going to make money. Queen 10 here, I'm going to 3-bet this hand. Even though you can flat call potentially at higher stakes. Of course at low stakes, I'm not going to do that since rake pre-flop doesn't exist. Now 9-8-5 is not the greatest board for us as a 3-better, since the imposition player is gonna have a good chunk of 9s, 8s, 5s, 7-6 suited. So I don't love this board, even though my hand specifically performs particularly good. We have 2 overcards at gut shot, and I'm gonna try to bet this board. Half pot, he continues. Turn is the ace. I think on the ace is gonna overfold 9x region, for example, hands like 10-9, jack-9. Of course, he's a recreational, so he's gonna have some random stuff in his range. And I'm gonna continue going for a bet. Now he jams, of course. Now we have to fold. That's pretty unlucky. He probably had some ace x2 pair or stuff like that. We check called on flop. Check on the turn here. Pocket sixes. I think if he has a bluff, he's gonna bluff on the river ace. So I'm probably gonna have to call. Yeah, I will call. He's got the ace7. Okay. Usually when you have a run out as an ace, he's probably gonna bluff his old non-showdown range. He's gonna have a bunch of hands like queen jack, queen 10, jack 10, all these kind of hands. So I think it's fine to call pocket sixes. You unblock all of this high card region. Yeah, of course he's gonna have some value hands too. Not gonna have just a bluff. I think it's easy to overbluff these situations. Gonna open pocket eights. Gonna have a multi-way pot. Okay, 6-4 deuce. This guy could donk bet, probably doesn't do that. I mean, it's a wreck, he could do that. This hand can check and bet. Yeah, let's just check. Okay, I'm gonna play a true streets game anyway. Question is, do we want to wait for a safe turn? Do we want to bet right now? Do we want to check raise against this guy? There's multiple lines possible. I think they're all fine. You cannot play badly pocket eights on this spot. Now we're gonna raise against one big blind. And now the river is the 7, and the guy who led folded, and now we're playing against the imposition player that decided to call on the jack. He's got a bunch of draws, some hearts combos, diamond combos. We unblock hearts, and I don't think there's a lot of hands that we can get to call him from behind. So we either block bet or check call / check fold, depending on the size that he uses. So I will check and see. Okay, he checks back. Wow, ace jack suited. So if he checks back ace jack suited, I mean, he's gonna over bluff a ton, because if you bluff your missed flush draws, you have to value bet your top pair, top kicker there. Pretty unlucky run out, but it's fine. We lost the minimum. We have pocket eights. We decide to flat call the big blind. We face a bet from the hijack, and this guy, I don't think he range checks. So some pros check their whole range here. I don't think he's a pro. So I think he would bet hands like aces, kings, queens, jacks. So I will check raise against this guy range. Yeah, he's not folded. Make flush here, but I think this guy's pretty weak. So I will go for a small bet. Maybe trigger some raise or stuff like that. I think he's pretty weak once he checks back on this queen 9-3. Jack, kings, aces, ace, queen, king, queen. He would probably bet. So now on the river 10, either block to induce some bluffs, or yeah, let's go something like 4 big blinds. So he calls the 10x region and maybe raises some random ace-x of spades. Wow, he just called ace king ace high. Yeah, it was pretty weak, by the way. The read was correct. That's always nice to see when you have the correct read. Unfortunately, he did not bluff. Didn't have the guts to go for it. He was scared. In UTG BB, we went for the c bet. He called. Now turn check check, and he goes for 1 big blind. And I mean, I'm pretty sure that he doesn't want to play for a big pot. So I will go 16.8. Okay, yeah, the trips. Wow. Okay, this wasn't a great read. It happens. So now I'm gonna say this guy, if he has a trips, he bets smalls to induce and take the note. You have to take some notes against the recreationals, try to understand how they play. So I'm gonna say bet small to induce. Okay, we decided to complete the open here. He went for 3 big blind. We continued and 10 deuces hearts with a flush draw. Still think it's just a call. Don't want to raise this kind of hands. I mean, you just have 1 overcard to the 8, and we make a pair. Think I'm gonna take the showdown. Here we face a click raise. Think it's over bluffed. Just call. And now we check back. Oh, that's unlucky. Now ace-x region. It's a straight. It's not great for us. And he goes for 5 big blinds. Bets on the flop, pretty big. Then checks on the turn. Here I'm gonna call against off pot. And yeah, then he goes for 5 bigs. Yeah, I think I will fold here. I don't like this pot. While here, I think he could have some flushes. So we beat flush right now. I don't think he ever has a hand that beats me. So the question is, how much can he pay? I think 70%. It's fine. 16 big blinds. Maybe has an 8. Wow, pocket 8s. Man. Why are they so passive with value hands here? I mean, you have pocket 8s. You beat any of my full houses. Okay, unlucky, but we managed to not lose a lot, actually. Why would you just call? You're afraid of queens or quads? But why? And at the 7-6, board is not that great. We can call, we can raise. Let's just call. And now we make a flush draw. We have basically everything. Okay, we make a flush on the river. Still, I think it's a very overfolded river. Let's just go small. Maybe trigger some raises. If he has a jack, I think he will raise. I mean, you have to raise a jack there. And then we play for stacks, of course. Okay, this guy earlier opened from the button 3.4 and then 4 bet. Now he opens 2.4. I think ace-9, even though it's not supposed to be a 3 bet, if you do have some patterns of raise first in sizings, you should go for the aggressive line. Small bet, king queen. Right now it's a flush completer. I think we can check back king queen without hearts. I think we have just one more straight. Depends if you want to take it on the turn or on the river. And I think now that he quick checks, I'm pretty sure he's gonna call even a bigger sizing than b70. So let's go pot. I think he's got some value hand here. Oh, come on. Check raise. Why are they so aggressive? I mean, it's 5-0. I'm not used to this kind of aggression against recreational. Again, against pot, just a snap raise. I think it's just a value and we're just gonna have to fold. Now, this is different. This is different. We went for the c-bet on the flop. He calls. Turn goes check, check. River is a king and he pots. This is weird because pot is usually underbluffed, but I have a feeling that here is gonna have a bluff. It might look fool, but I'm gonna call. Okay, he has a set. Whatever. Still getting used to this take. He's very polarized, of course. And sometimes recreational players are decently good at polarizing their range. By the way, take the note, snap pot, value hand, even though usually it's not necessary to take it because it's very likely that it's a strong hand. In that specific scenario, I thought it was weak. C-bet and face a check raise. What the hell is going on today? I mean, we're 5-L. Looks like we're playing 2K against regulars. I can assure you, it's not like this usually. One big blind, very weak. let's just call. Now we make a full house. Hopefully bets. No, of course he checks back. I could have donked just because these kind of lines, they're usually just to check back. I think he had ace king. Yeah, I could have donked, man. He had ace 3, like ace high. It was paying himself the showdown. Yeah, I could have donked, but I don't think it makes a lot of difference. He probably just folds. And I think that's okay for today. Let's play some last hands. I've had enough 5-L. Getting crushed, by the way. Let's take a look at results at the end of these hands. So 3-bet 976. Terrible board for us. And I think I'm gonna just check fold the ace jack. Don't think bluff performs particularly well on these low connected boards, so I will just check fold and lose the hand. So we lost 2.8 euros. That will put us to 81.70 into the bankroll. This session was a complete disaster. We lost a lot of hands, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, sometimes in poker you just have to lose. That's okay. You're gonna make terrible reads like I did today, and sometimes you're just not lucky, and that's poker. It's fine for me. I hope you guys enjoyed it anyway, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.